Yo, what's going on, beautiful people? We are back with another week of this No Name podcast. And as you know, that's really not a joke because we still have yet to come up with the name for this podcast. But we are on 5th episode. So, yeah, man, we're on track. Our goal is to get in a solid 10 before the New Year's. And I think we're on track to doing that. Great conversation as
Effortless
always.
bars.
Well, huh?
You said I think we're on track to doing that. Effortless bars.
Facts. But yo, I'm Edward. My mama named me Edward after my daddy. You can follow me at Emax Stacks for all of your exclusive, up-to-date sporting content. And I'm going to kick it to my brother who got the beanie on inside of his house for him to introduce himself.
Yeah, you know why? Because that's a whole different story. We're going to get into that later. You know, I'm hype about one in particular thing. I think you can guess it, but it's your boy Black Peace coming live and direct, give you that real, plain and simple. Let's go.
What's up, man? It's your boy Shineheart is upcoming with the logical, intellectual, charismatic, jack of all trades. I'm gonna give you the real, you know, never lacking in that area.
What do, man? It's your boy Sedacious, a.k.a. Live the Rapper, a.k.a. T-Tyler, the trippiest of them all. I'm all about that love, hostility? Fuck it.
You hostile? What you hostile for? You're trying to stay
I'm hospitable. I'm a hospitable kind of guy, is what I'm trying to say. And I'm all about the love, sharing love, and taking care of minds and, you know, taking care of the world. I'm a humanitarian in this whole. Take it, Edward.
All right, man. So y'all already know we kicked this off in the first segment before we get into some football, culture, and sports, NBA. So, hey, man, this won't be the last episode, but for us to just really break out with basketball, this will probably be like our last time for a little minute. Yo, we no longer have the NBA, fellas. It has passed us. The Lakers have won the championship. They have done it for Kobe. They have done it for Gigi.
All hail the king.
Some people had it as a sweep. Some people had it as a gentleman's sweep. Some people felt like, yo, I respect the Heat enough to give them 2 games. So if it goes to 6, no big deal. If it goes to 7, people still have faith in the Lakers. Before we get to the championship game, before we get to game 6, let's rewind a little bit. And we all pretty much are going to give LeBron his flowers. But before we get there, let's go back and let's talk about game 5 real quick. Jimmy Butler. I won't even just throw it on Jimmy Butler. The Heat collectively, they won game 5. The Lakers were unable to end it in the Kobe, in the Black Mamba jerseys. And they didn't. And when I watched that game, the Lakers and LeBron specifically, they were playing – LeBron was playing that game like it was a game 7. LeBron was playing that game like, I'm tired of playing. I'm ready to get this shit over with. Let's win this game and let's get out the bubble. But the Heat was not going out like no punks. They didn't go out there. They didn't fold. They played like, yo, let's just win one game. We can win one game. We could possibly do something spectacular. Obviously, that didn't happen. But when you talk about game 5, it all comes down to that last play. LeBron has the ball, top of the key. Shot clock is off for the most. Shot clock is off, or is really not a factor for the Lakers. LeBron gets that shot top of the key with Jimmy Butler guarding him. We know LeBron James is a freight train. We know he can get to the rim at will when he wants. That is his superpower. He drives it, draws 3 or 4 Heat players, kicks it back to the top of the key to Danny Green, who ends up missing the 3-pointer. Me personally, we know LeBron James plays the game the right way. We know LeBron James does not pride himself off trying to play heroic ball. He loves getting his teammates involved. He loves seeing his teammates elevated. So LeBron James would have been perfectly fine if it wasn't him making that 3-pointer or making a game-winning shot, as he showed it by kicking it to Danny Green. I want to see him make that shot. I believe that was his shot to make, regardless of the situation or the circumstances. I think with everything that was going on, that being a do-or-die shot, not to tie it, in the Kobe jerseys for Kobe, LeBron continuously like mounting and stacking and just really laying on extra cement to cement his spot in legacy and history, he would have made that shot regardless of the situation. Sedacious, you're the Laker fan. How did you feel about that? How Game 5 played out and how LeBron went about handling that late game situation?
Well, I think that he made a great decision in passing the ball. I mean, we can't want LeBron to be LeBron when he's doing great things, but don't want him to be LeBron because Danny Green missed the shot. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's been plenty of times where LeBron passes the ball and someone else. Where LeBron will take the shot and make it himself. We all know that he just has the IQ to where he's going to make the best basketball play. And I feel like he made the best basketball play. He drew 4. He kicked it out to a shooter. You know what I'm saying? It went down the way that it went. But what I liked most was, once Danny Green missed the shot, LeBron wasn't fazed. He wasn't worried. He wasn't tripping at all that they just took a second game because of what was going to happen the ensuing game.
What you got on it, Isaac?
Man, I also too indulge in Sedacious' take, as in, LeBron James did definitely make the right basketball play, but as far as speaking to the Mamba mentality that we know the late great Kobe Bean Bryant to have, I want to relate it back to, I believe, a late game playoff series, or I believe it may have been a first round playoff series with the Suns with Kobe Bryant 06-07 with the game winner. I believe, or to send him in the OT when he shot over 3 defenders. Almost a very similar play, driving hard right baseline, but pulls up mid-range, for the go-ahead. LeBron in that case, man, exactly. LeBron in that case, man, he stayed true to himself. He's definitely a pass-first player. That's his greatest attribute, although he is a scorer. Man, we pay Danny Green millions of dollars to do the job. And quite frankly, at that moment, he didn't deliver on it, and that happens. I believe the death threats were completely unwarranted. The man has hit big shots in his career, like a nation. I was a little OD for that. I was wrong, but he definitely redeemed himself with collectively on how the team played together. But I mean, overall, man, LeBron James, he made the right basketball decision. And honestly, Danny Green really could have let my boy KCP had his shine, because 50 seconds earlier, KCP actually hit a big shot in the corner to put them up, to have them in that position in the first place. So if I'm Danny, I'm thinking it ain't really been my night like that. KCP, corner shot, I know that's what they paid me to do, but it ain't really been my night. I feel like you got to have the basketball intelligence maybe to push that to KCP. I feel like he would have hit that. My personal opinion.
What you got for us, Darnell?
I'm about to disagree with both of you guys, okay? This is not a regular season game. This is not a regular playoff game. This is not the first couple games in the finals. This is the time when you take those opportunities. That's when you experiment. That's when you take that risque, lower percentage situation. LeBron is, like he mentioned, the freight train. In that moment, through all the adversity, through everything that's been going on, that's your time to be you. That's your time to get your shine. LeBron, we get it. You're not the guy that always wants to shine, but at some point in your life, in your career, you really have to say, you know what? This is the biggest stage of them all, and I got to do what I got to do. Forget what the critics already say you're too passive. You have to prove them wrong and just say you're a winner. Period.
The critics, he doesn't play the critics in the NBA Finals, though. Now he plays in Miami Heat. He has to make the right basketball play. I understand you want him to be something that he's not, but I mean,
no, that's true. No. Because the thing about it is, what would have happened was, if he would have completed, he would have got a foul or he would have made it. Either or, it's a shot for him to make to go ahead. And I felt like after all that would have happened, they would have won that game that night. I felt like they would have went, the experts would have went over it again and showed, hey, Danny Green was right there. But at the end of the day, this is not that time to be LeBron James passer. This is time to be LeBron James finisher.
You know what the media would have did, Darnell, and I don't mean to cut you off, I'm going to say this in about 12 seconds. He was damned if he did, damned if he didn't. If he would have took that over 3 people, he would have been like, LeBron James is usually an unselfish player. In that moment, he usually kicks it out to the open shooter. What was he thinking? Come on, man. He was damned from the beginning, man. If he didn't make that shot, or if he didn't take it, he would have been damned either way. So
I was gonna say, not from the perspective if I was pretty much gonna rebuttal the same thing that Isaac was saying to let you get back on it, Darnell. Like I said in the beginning, I'm not deferring from like I would have liked him to take the shot, but I understand LeBron could care less. And when you're talking about the critics, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like you said, Darnell, this is your time to be aggressive, Black Mamba mentality. But if LeBron would have missed the shot, everybody named Mama, man, he ain't clutch, bro. So he damned.
Kobe would have never.
He damn Kobe, right?
Kobe also wouldn't have.
Kobe would have never
for missing it though. Also, it would have been like
no. Kobe has been in those positions. Kobe, we all know that. Not that stage.
Shot, bro. What can you say?
Not that stage, but we know he's been in that position. And at the end of the day, Kobe will tell you straight up, it is what it is. Kobe, that's the first thing he says. Another shot. I missed it. Oh well, life goes on. Keep playing.
Exactly.
That's would have been the mentality.
You making my point. So why does LeBron get crucified? And I almost felt LeBron. If you also pay attention to an Instagram post he made, I believe about a day and a half ago, he alluded to, well, not even alluded to, he quite literally said, what's next for them to do? Make up some imaginary, unbelievable stuff that nobody else has had to live up to except me. And you know what he said? Bring on the challenge.
Yeah,
I'm
what criteria?
Yeah, come on, man, because they compare this man to levels and standards that no man has really been held to. So, I mean, and not to even sound like a LeBron fan. I'm actually a Kobe fan, but the LeBron hate just be so
no, because the time off as if I'm hating on him. I'm not hating on him at all. It's far from
it. Not you. I'm just speaking to you.
Yeah, but it's more just like, dude, this is one of those like moments in life of being a basketball player, bro. Like, just take it. Take that, like if all the times get criticized or anything come with it, dude, just live with that one. Like you can sleep easy that night. At the end of the day, like what you're doing it for, just like everybody been saying, it's for Kobe, it's for yourself, it's for this and that. At the end of the day, Kobe has said it on record. When I missed that game-winning shot, life goes on. It's another shot.
And also, I'm sorry, bro.
You're good. That's pretty much it. But that's pretty much it, though. But because at the end of the day, that's how he is. At the end of the day, if I miss it, I miss it. You gotta live with it. Like, and that would have been that time for him to accept that as that superstar he is, and not worry about critics. That was the beauty about Kobe. Kobe didn't give a shit about no critics.
I don't think LeBron.
He didn't care.
LeBron does not care about the critics, from my opinion. Just looking at him in the makeup and the man he's grown to be, that I see in the media. Don't know him personally, obviously. But one could also say, just because that was the game-winning shot, by certain criteria or standards, we consider that to be a pressure shot. But there was really no pressure surrounded around that shot for LeBron. It's not like if you miss that shot, y'all lose the championship. It's not like if you miss that. It's not like if you miss that shot, y'all go down in the series, or the Heat steal a game and y'all down 3. So it was genuine,
and that's what I'm saying.
Pressure surrounded around that shot, and
exactly. That's what I'm saying about it. That's basically like the whole thing. Right? Sorry to interrupt you, but that's like the whole thing I'm saying. Like, bro, like you could live with that. Like it's game. Like y'all in control. There's a dirt tire. Like y'all, this is like y'all did proving the game 6. Y'all have this in the bag. Just take the shot.
I would have loved to see that
he rimmed out or.
No, I would just how, because like Isaac, I'm Kobe diehard fan. But I would have just loved to see that for his part of his story. That's all. I mean,
absolutely, it definitely would have been storybook. But you know, in a perfect world, you know, we'd always gonna get what we want. Darnell, Danny Green hit a shot. Yeah. You open, ass naked open. Love though. You know what I'm saying? Respect, but at the same time, yeah.
Are you shaking?
We go sidebar. We go sidebar.
He was the champion. What was it? 2 minutes left in the game. He made sure he was champion. No, what the first half. Going into the second half, he made sure that he was champion already. Quick sidebar.
Shot
wasn't shit. That shot wasn't shit.
Yeah, bro.
they walked off the court like that shit wasn't shit.
Yeah, you
Because the
saw how
next
Jimmy
game,
Butler was literally
he
slumped
won
over
that whole.
in agonizing, just complete
Oh, yeah.
exhaustion, right? Because his body isn't used to the rigor and the conditioning of playing that hard at that level, you know, on that stage. And no disrespect to Jimmy, you know, he at Houston, you know, much love to him, bro. Like, I love Jimmy, but at the same time, you could tell who was in more peak physical condition to, like, whose body was able and, you know, readily handle, you know, ready to handle that vigor and that, you know, that upkeep in the finals, man. And it showed clearly because Game 6, Jimmy was non-existent. The whole team was tired. They really gave all they had. They poured their soul like Game 5.
I'm sorry, you had more sedations?
No. That's it. We got the chip.
Yeah, well, like you said, going into Game 6, Sedacious, he made sure by the second half he was already a champion.
Yeah, that's it. That's like everybody wants, like, okay, so you take Kobe. I don't mind because everybody know I love Kobe, so I can say this and I don't care what nobody thinks. You take Kobe, and all 82 games, Kobe has to make a clutch shot for you to win. I'll take the guy who I know I won when the fourth quarter started. I'll take that guy 99% of the time. But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, LeBron don't have to be clutch because he gonna beat your ass before the game over with. He won the game before the game over with. So why take it?
That's not always the case, though, Sedacious. He's not steamrolling everybody, but more times than not, the stat this season was when the Lakers lead going into the fourth quarter. They were
Hold on. Wait.
Not even more times than not. They were undefeated going into the fourth quarter.
We're going to stay on task. We're going to give LeBron his followers. We're going to keep this away from a Kobe versus LeBron currently. And so I hear what you're saying, Sedacious, on how you feel about taking
Well, yeah,
LeBron.
that's what it was for me. Because, like, yeah.
Oh, this ain't no Kobe versus LeBron. We don't
Nah, this not that. This not that at all. Yeah, but anyway.
This ain't that.
Yeah, like, come on, man. This man became champion at the end of the first half, if you let me tell it. I heard niggas say, like, I just feel like he was disrespectful, just gonna celebrate like that with 1:40 left in the game.
Well, that's what you do when you're up 30.
Stop it.
You have the momentum, you know. People find reasons to be mad. Nah, just think about it. Think about it is if you go against a person and they prove you wrong, just take the L. like me, dude. I went up against them twice in a certain sense of one team was giving him a better battle and one team had a possibility of beating them. At the end of the day, dude proved his worth. At the end of the day, you got to get this man his fucking flowers, bro. Like, the man came out there and put in work, and I mean, you denied it, and now people just seem like whatever. Like, the dude earned it. They went up 30 by the first half, and then they cleaned it. They secured it, but they were up about 16 going in 2 minutes left. 16 with that team and how tired they are. No, there's no way in hell they're coming back. People just want to fight about
the start of that game. From the start of that game, if you just look at the body language of that game, I don't even think that game was really too intensive, like about X's and O's, as much as it was just like the Heat were done. Like, physically and mentally, they were done. And, like, I can't be mad at them, man. You know, like you were saying, Isaac, just in terms of just, like, having your body conditioned for that long at that peak, at that level. Like, they didn't have any idea on, like, what it took to, like, be that stable and still be fresh or be able to, like, you know, push through and power through. I mean, like, the post conference and Jimmy – like
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, because I think he played the whole game. If not by like 30 seconds, he didn't play. It was only about 48 seconds that he didn't play. But yeah, so something crazily like that. But we all know LeBron James is tested, tried, and true when it comes to that. So he's accustomed to playing the whole game if need be. So when that call was to be answered again, he was definitely up for it, as opposed to, you know, the Heat.
Sidebar, he's been prepping for moments like this since he was been with the Heat. Apparently, according to Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh said in an interview that this man has been stretching and getting ready since he was with the Heat. So I'm gonna drop that right there. That's 10 years ago. So like I said, it is.
The man spills over $1 million into his body every year. Case closed. You know where he's planning to be at the end of the year.
I mean, the dude proves it every fight. I thought he was gonna slow down, and the man sped up.
For me, I don't know how I want to say this. When it comes to giving LeBron his flowers while he can still smell them, not to say like before he died, just while he's still in the league, I don't feel like I will really be able to give LeBron the flowers that he deserves until he retires and he allows us as fans just to like peek behind the curtain. Like, we hear, oh, he put $1 million into his body. Like, we hear all the discipline, all the mindset. But, like, I just feel like there's, like, a process out of this world that, like, LeBron, like, strategically and is, like, dedicated and religiously devoted to that's made him great.
Inside.
I feel like it's easy to just, like, you only appreciate LeBron for what you see him do. But as you talk about who is great and what really makes a person great, it's about what they do, and nobody's watching them. So I can only imagine the.
Come on, Martin Luther King. The true character of a man is what you do when someone isn't looking. You are the practices and the habits that you do. Take 21 days to make a habit, man. What are y'all habits out there, audience? What y'all doing with y'all life? What y'all doing?
You know what I'm saying? And perfect. We'll end it
They
on
said
that.
Kobe found out Larry Bird took 1,000 shots. He started taking 1,500 shots.
Say that again. Say that again.
Kobe found out that Larry Bird takes 1,000 shots. He started taking 1,500 shots.
Kobe was taking 1,000 shots after he's like running like 3-4 miles or doing wind sprints in the morning just to condition his body to still be able to knock down that jumper late in games, even though he's fatigued and tired.
Right.
You know what LeBron has left to do that nobody hasn't done? Have that kind of career and actually end on top. Have that kind of career. Not just win a championship and drop. No. Have that kind of career at that level with all the accomplishments he has and then retire. Not do some comeback.
I can't even imagine LeBron James without having his superpowers. I wouldn't even want to see it.
That would literally make him.
I wouldn't even want to see it.
I don't either. I hope in my heart of hearts, I hope.
Not even that, but just he had to be like a ring or,
Because I feel like the downfall off of that peak will be more talked about than the whole longevity of his great career. And they'll make a mountain out of a molehill with that. True. Especially, i.e. somebody
That's
like
what I'm saying, like.
Dude.
See, I told you.
So
that's what he needs
damn,
to
Skip,
do.
You've been playing 38 years now. You mean he couldn't mount up to the pressure?
Like, that's the moment I've been waiting on.
Man, come on, man.
I told you.
It's sick,
at the end of LeBron's career, he proved why he could never be Michael Jordan. Really, bro? Right. Hey, talking about the end of LeBron's career, do y'all see LeBron retiring in LA, or do y'all see him taking a farewell tour back to Cleveland?
He's done with Cleveland.
Too much bad blood with David Griffin. Farewell tour with LA, especially with Kobe Bryant passing away. I believe it's only right that he be that beacon of hope and light that he's, proven to be, with the social justice movement. And then just as far as filling that superstar void that LA needs, with the passing of the late great Bean. So I believe he'll finish it up there. He'll finish it up there.
LeBron, when you do get ready to retire, my brother, for guys like me who try to embrace discipline as much as they can, just let us look behind the curtain, man. Just give us some inspiration and some motivation.
Oh, it's coming out.
I know you can't give us the secret sauce right now because you're in the league. You can't give away the secrets. But when you retire, man, please don't let that docu-series or whatever be too long after you retire, man.
Kid from Akron. That a kid from Akron
LeBron James, a King's ball. That's it. LeBron need to pay me. LeBron James.
Say that again.
A King's ball. The series, the docu-series. I'm telling you.
Dang, I don't know if we want to put this episode out, bro. We may try to rip us out.
I need 20%. I need that.
Just give me an interview. Give me a sit-down interview, and I'm good.
Give me a
man. Yeah, man. So, that wraps it up for the NBA 2020 NBA season, NBA Bubble Edition. Obviously, a historical season by itself. It will definitely be in the history books forever. But now
we getting into football. We're not getting into football.
We getting ready to, bro. Relax.
No, my bad.
You can say that's the NBA segment.
but yeah, so we definitely gonna get into like more basketball, even though the season over, off season and so forth. But yeah, man. So we are about to get into some football. We're gonna say, yo, we on Christian motherfucking ass this week. And boy, when I tell y'all, I got the bet of a lifetime with Christian this past Sunday, the Texans versus the Jags. I think we're gonna start it off talking about the Cowboys, but when we get to the Texans, y'all should be proud of boys for this bet I got Christian on, that I beat him on. But yeah, man, y'all stay tuned. Appreciate y'all rocking with us. No Name Podcast. Please get in them comments and give us an idea for the name of this podcast.
Y'all might see me cry talking about the Cowboys.
And stay tuned for Sedacious for live crying about the Cowboys. What's going on, everybody who's tuned in to the NFL segment? We got Christian on here again this week. We like to call him Coach Johnson. I'm not gonna take that away from him. We all respect Christian.
Kim Johnson.
Coach Johnson. But you know how you have Urkel and you have Stephon. For all of my people who grew up out there watching Family Matters. Someday, Christian, well, you have Urkel, you have Stephon. Stephon is Coach Johnson. Urkel is Christian. I have a feeling this week on the podcast, we're going to get a lot of Christian, but he likes to try to act like he's sprinkling it with a little bit of Stephon, Coach Johnson. But nonetheless, whether he's Stephon, whether he's Urkel, whether he's Coach Johnson, or whether he's Christian, we love him and we respect him. This week on the podcast, we have, I don't know if it's Coach Johnson or Christian, but he's here, ladies and gentlemen. Take us away.
What's happening, everybody? What's happening? Week 5 is in the books. We just had our last game. The Titans obliterated the Bills. They looked very good on Tuesday Night Football. But we have a couple other pressing issues that we're going to talk about today. First, we're going to talk about Dak Prescott and his injury. As we know, Dak was trying to get a long-term deal done with the Cowboys this year. Before the season started, was not able to come to terms with that deal, and so he bet on himself, took the franchise tag, and got a season-ending injury this past weekend. Now, before on the podcast, I've talked about looking at things from a organization perspective and doing what's best for organization, right? And I haven't spent much time talking about doing what's best for the players, right? Now, I am a person that is very dedicated to people acting in their own self-interest, right? I don't think it's selfish. I think, hey, you got to take care of number one, right? So I think organizations should take care of organizations, and players themselves should take care of themselves and their family. So Dak Prescott and like other players should try to get as much money as they possibly can, and drain the NFL for all it can, right? And so I think that's what Dak was trying to do previous to this year, and trying to get a deal down on a 4-year contract rather than a 5-year contract to make sure that after his contract is up, that he can still be a part of, those top QBs being paid, right? And so I think that his injury does not necessarily harm his chances of that. I think that there are 2 scenarios that can happen. One, Andy Dalton doesn't play well, and the Cowboys see, oh, snap, we need to throw Dak all the money. Or Andy Dalton does play well, and Jerry Jones, for some reason, thinks that he can move forward without Dak, and Dak goes into free agency.
He won't do that.
Dak goes into free agency and gets paid handsomely by another team that's out there. So we can discuss that. What's in Dak's future coming up?
Yeah, that's my fear. This injury was my fear that they're now going to try to use this as an excuse to not go full force with the negotiation like before they tagged him. Because before they tagged him, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he gets to go back and forth with him. And then boom, you know what? We can't make your demands. We got to tag you. But with that injury, it's almost like the Cowboys win with that tagging. And I don't want that for that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them to have the opportunity to be like, nah, fuck you. You know what I mean? Because then that's really going to make me feel away. And I hate to play this card, but it's going to make me feel away as a young black man. I'm sorry. It just is. And you know what I'm saying? So I hope, and my hope, I'm going to say,
Sedation. I personally do not trust. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you,
okay. I personally don't believe in Jerry Jones. I don't trust him to like do right, quote unquote, do right by Dak.
Do right by him.
But you as a diehard,
he did right by Tony Romo. He better do right by Dak, and Dak is enough for that other type of skin color the way he'll get done right. I hate to say that. I don't believe it's a race game, but I mean,
I don't know, bro.
I'm not saying light skin. I
mean,
he is mixed. He is white and black. So I'm just saying.
I don't know. I'm hoping that
his mom white.
And these are the facts, people.
His mom is white. Yes.
No, his mom is Hispanic.
Besides all that, like
whose mom?
Dak's mom is white. Dak's mom.
Ryan Dakota Prescott's mom is white.
Yes.
And what else?
White. What do you mean?
What else?
He's mixed.
What else?
Let's not have a news flash right now. Okay, but yeah, let's keep that up.
Mixed with
no,
it don't matter. He is an African American.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Check it out. They don't pay him.
He's stopped by the police.
He's black, but for sure, just for the sake of this argument and somebody being right and somebody being wrong,
he's on the gun line, boss.
White. His mom's white. All right, go ahead, Sedacious.
His mom's white, but go ahead.
Yes, Sedacious.
Anyway, they don't pay him. Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, that's gonna be conflicting.
You raising Holy Hill? You gonna be up at AT&T Stadium?
Never. I don't feel that strongly about it. But that's a statement to a young black man that I don't. Well, at least I don't know, bro. Y'all take it away. Like I said, I didn't really want to talk about this. You know what I'm saying? I have mixed feelings when it comes to it. And these mixed feelings are really strong. So
that's what we here for, brother. We need to mix feelings.
Is it fair to try to play, I guess, the race card as it pertains to Dak? When you look at it, he paid Amari Cooper, Ezekiel Elliott, D. Ware.
No, it's not. But I think he gets compared back to how almost son-like Tony Romo got, you know, as far as the treatment that Tony Romo received throughout his Cowboy tenure. Everybody known is, you know, public record that, you know, Jerry Jones treated Tony, that guy. You know, Jerry Jones treated Tony Romo as a second son, right?
That's my quarterback.
And what people have been, you know, kind of alluding to over the years is, you know, well, hey, if this was Tony Romo wouldn't have had to gone through, you know, a season of being franchise tag and, you know, this, that, and the third. So I believe it's too small of a particle to say that race is playing a definite factor, but I believe it's more so Dak, we don't believe that you're really that guy, so we're just gonna kind of wait. And now what has happened is now they're about to be guilted into paying him, right? Because the organization is like, no, you need to take care of him. Just from the simple fact of what he brings from a culture standpoint, Dak Prescott has brought a specific culture to the Cowboys that I don't even believe they had when Romo was around. And that's truly a culture of camaraderie, brotherhood, you know, just a true –
That's
just a genuine culture that players want to play for.
He's gonna be asking.
I want to – let me jump.
If I understand about what the value that Dak has brought off the field.
Hold on, Christian. Let me cut you off because I want to jump in, but I'm going to throw a question at you while jumping in.
Right.
Me personally, what I've growing to understand, what I fully understand, at the end of the day, business is business. Business isn't fair. Business isn't doing right by you. Business isn't guilt tripping. business is business, especially in the NFL. Quick side note, if Bill O'Brien want to take an over from the Cowboys, if you are the owner, you could possibly get away with being a bad GM. But staying on the Cowboys, I personally do not believe Jerry Jones is going to pay Dak Prescott. I don't think he's going to do right by him. And within feeling that way, I throw the question to you, Christian, and your philosophy of team building. Hey, if you just got a decent quarterback and you put the right pieces around him, you could go far. So, Christian, do you think if Jerry Jones decides not to do right by Dak Prescott, do you feel like he may adopt the philosophy that, like, hey, I got enough good pieces. If Andy Dalton can just get us over the finish line till we get like maybe a trade or a draft pick, like we'll be all right. But I'm gonna let Dak go on his way.
It depends on how well Andy Dalton does. The thing is that they are in the perfect situation to figure out if my hypothetical philosophy could actually work, right? They have, arguably the best receiving corps in the game, right? They have 4 guys that are legitimate receivers, right? Possibly 3 guys who could be number ones on any given team. Their offensive line is not the same as what it used to be, but it's not bad. Ezekiel Elliott, though he's not playing like the straw that stirs the drink, he still has that ability, right? He has times, where they can lean on him. They have pieces on offense where Andy Dalton can look great. And Kellen Moore is a good enough offensive coordinator where he can make things happen that way. And also, too, they're in a division that sucks. So they could win 7 games and get to the playoffs, right? That they don't necessarily have to rampage through everybody. So they're in the perfect situation to figure out, hey, could we still win games with Andy Dalton, right, at the helm with the pieces around him?
First place.
And if that happens at the end of the year, they'll have to make a decision and say, hey, look, can we duplicate this with Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle, right? And only paying him $20 million or whatever they're paying him a year, right? And then, figure out our QB situation afterwards. Or do we have to have someone of the caliber of Dak Prescott? Now, mind you, Andy Dalton is nowhere in the same league as Dak Prescott. Right, Dak Prescott is on the edge of that top tier to a tier 2 quarterback. Right, he's on the edge. He's on the edge there. He is that good. He was on track before he got hurt. He was on track to throw for 6,000 yards this year. That's just a fact, right? No matter if you say garbage time, whatever, he was still on track.
I love when people had their first quarter of the season and then they start throwing out the on pace hyperbole. Right?
I understand that, but he's led the league in passing.
Interesting stat for that season. How many of those were accumulated when the score was 17 plus points out of reach or 20 plus points out of reach? Nonetheless,
it could be Isaac, but we also got the games they lost, right? They were one possession games, right? They were one possession games and games that he made sure that they weren't blown out of games, right? At the end of the game, they were in a position to win the game because of what he did, even if it was done in garbage time, quote unquote. Because of the way that he played, he put them in a position to at least be able to tie the game or win the game at the end, right? And so that does mean something, right? You put Andy Dalton in those situations, they're nowhere near that, right? You put in, there, in my opinion, there's only maybe 4 quarterbacks that you put in that same situation that, hey, we can still
but this is football, though, Christian. Right. Almost only counts in horseshoes, so it's a bottom line business.
Horseshoes and hand grenades.
Come on.
I understand that. But from a organizational standpoint and from a coaching standpoint as well, hey, we just want to be in a position to win the game in the end, right? Dak Prescott gives you, even with how bad things are in their defense, and how their games go,
I said this.
Dak Prescott still gives them a chance to be in games, right?
Absolutely, he definitely gives you a premium over Andy Dalton when it comes to winning.
Gives them that same chance.
We have a good defense. We're 4-0 right now. Period. We got a good defense from the start of the season. We're 4-0 right now. Period.
Yeah. But what's the thing you say,
with,
Isaac?
With two fumbles. With two fumbles in each quarter.
Hey, man, we be lit as fuck right now.
Yeah. So we'll see about that. Now, in my personal opinion, I think they will have success with Andy Dalton, just because they have a lot of weapons, and their schedule coming up. They don't necessarily play any high-powered teams coming up here. Let me see. Give me a second.
I got you, Christian.
Their next 3 games, the Cardinals' offense is not very good.
What?
I don't think it's very good. Listen.
Guys, don't rebuttal, guys. Let him.
I know he's trying to bait me right now. Don't.
I'm not trying to bait you. I'm just saying.
You are. Because I'm about to argue to the death.
They only had
Isaac, hold on, bro.
They didn't pull away from the Jets. They didn't pull away from the Jets until late in that game this past weekend.
They got a good.
It's a Deacon.
All right.
Deacon dunk offense that, if Kyler Murray didn't have his legs the way he did, and I don't know. So
Arizona, Washington,
that's a winnable game. They play the football.
Deacon dunk? Are you? Come on, E. Moving on. All right. You coming back to that?
Edward, can you look up Kyler Murray's average depth?
Don't do that, Christian. Don't do that. Don't do
that. Look, listen.
I gotta know.
Find out what
all right, but stay on topic with the Cowboys, and I'll go get the stats for you. Stay on topic with the Cowboys, and I'll go get the stats for you.
All right.
Why he going to get the stats? It don't make us know. It don't make sense to go ahead and talk about the Cowboys. So let's talk about it.
The next 3 games, I think, are definitely winnable. The Cardinals.
So you said we taking first place, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean,
because the Cardinals. I don't know if you noticed, but the Cardinals are the second best team in the NFC West. I didn't know if you knew that.
The second best.
Yes, the second best. Yeah.
So the Rams are 4-1. The Seahawks are undefeated.
I don't care. You really gonna tell me that the Rams are a better football team than the Cardinals right now?
Yes, they have a better offense. They have a better defense. They have a better play caller.
I don't know about that. That
I'm just not on offense, Christian. I'm not seeing the great offensive prowess that I'm used to seeing out of the Rams.
They had one game where their offense couldn't move the ball. One. That was versus a Giants defensive line that was a lot bigger than their O-line. The Giants have the biggest defensive line in the league. So, hey.
I don't know about that. So the Rams have a more productive offense.
Well, right now, Kyler Murray QBR is 74. He's ranked number 14 with QBR.
So what's his average depth of target? It's A-dot. Average depth of target. That compared to other people in the league, if you can find that.
Okay.
Because that'll tell us what he's being asked to do in his offense. The dink and dunk offense that I think.
They throw the ball down the field.
Nah, it's definitely an air raid.
DeAndre Hopkins.
The air raid itself is a dink and dunk offense. I can go air raid. Hey, get guys in space, yards after catch.
I don't know, man, because Hopkins, that boy an animal.
Hopkins is an animal. He's doing well in the offense, but also too, they don't ask him to throw the ball down the field until late in the game.
Well, I believe Cliff Kingsbury's got to be a little more creative, early quarters as far as play calling and shots, as far as getting it going off the play action, because they do like to take some play action shots, but. I mean, if you're not seeing them as frequently as you like, I don't believe it's merit enough to say that they're just this, like you said, dink and dunk offense that's just incapable of moving the ball. And quite frankly, I don't care what the record says. They may have one more loss than the Rams, but I don't believe that this year presently constituted that the Rams are better than the Arizona Cardinals. I just don't
Have
believe
they
that.
played each other yet? No, they haven't. We'll see.
They haven't played each other yet. They haven't
We'll
played.
see.
Um,
'Cause the Cards look hard.
We'll see though. They in the division, so they'll play twice, won't they?
Yeah.
They'll play twice.
We'll see. I'm trying to figure out when the
Maybe
Cardinals
once.
play.
I don't know.
The Cardinals, dang, they don't play the Rams till late in the year, man.
Do they
Who
play them
was that
twice or
almost
once?
beat Seattle the other night? The who was that almost beat Seattle?
They play them once or twice.
They play them twice in their division.
Yeah, right. That's what I thought.
Yeah, they don't play until later in the year. But yeah, all right. So that's what we got in the Cowboys. Next, hey, the Bill O'Brien era is over.
Before you start, I must intro.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
And I also, I ain't gonna lie, I'm struggling to find the average, the Dunkin' Donuts that. Did I say Dunkin' Donuts?
The A dot stat.
Yeah, the A dot stat. I'm struggling to find it. But all right, fellas. So I told y'all I would tell y'all about the bet that y'all would be proud of me for that I made with Christian as it relates to the Texans versus
Dang, bro, I hadn't done it.
the Jaguars. It's okay. Don't worry. You have time, my kind sir.
We'll see.
So I hit Christian Sunday, feeling good. I'm like, yo, bro, like my Texans, they don't win nothing else, bro. Like they gotta win this week. So I hit Christian. I was like, yo, bro, I got a deal for you. Y'all know Christian has a daughter, just past 2 years old. So I was like, yo, bro, if the Texans win, your daughter, she's 2 years old, so she starts slowly but surely like being able to articulate herself very, very well. Shout out to his daughter. Don't want to say her name over the podcast. So I was like, but you got to get your daughter. If the Texans win today, you have to get her to say H-Town, ho, and throw up the H after they win. And the Texans won. So I am waiting. But, however, Christian was like, yo, all right. If the Texans wins, however, you have to get the Minshew mustache. Obviously, I ain't got to get that mustache. But,
Damn, that's crazy.
I was hoping to get it before the podcast so we could just open it up with that audio. Saying H, and she had to throw up the H too while I said it.
I'm gonna get it to you so we can have it for the next podcast.
Okay, because if you wait till Christmas, I'm gonna buy her a Texans jersey and make her put it on, and then make her say.
Make sure it's a number 4.
So the longer you take, we gonna be together for Christmas. If you take a long time, I'm gonna go get her a Texas jersey. Just as interest on how long you've been waiting to give me my video.
Make sure she throw up on it or something.
Let's just abide by the rules, good man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Just go ahead.
Yeah.
But shout out to the Texans for helping me win that bet. But I held them off as you were talking about, the first with the Cowboys. But we're not holding off, so we're gonna let you open up with the Texans, and say whatever blasphemy you're about to say. And,
actually, you know what? I want to congratulate the Texans fans above all. I want to congratulate the Texans fans above all. Y'all have been frustrated for many years with the coaching situation there. Y'all have been frustrated. I've heard your frustrations for the past 5 weeks with Bill O'Brien. I heard the jubilation last Monday evening when you guys found out that he was gone. And,
Free at last.
This was good for the fans to see John Watson, hitting Brandon Cooks, down the sideline and stuff like that, to see some aggressiveness from Romeo Cornell going forward on fourth down to make sure you put the game in in hand there. Don't give him a chance to come back, all that good stuff. Hey, stick your chest out. So I'm not gonna speak any blasphemies yet. I'm gonna allow you guys to go ahead and to enjoy it. Afterwards, I'm gonna tell you some stuff that you can look for as far as positively looking forward in the future, and then I'm gonna bring.
We already know the positive. We don't really need no. We already know the positive. But before we
it might be different. But go ahead.
Oh, look. All right. So before we start, we want to try to give Christian his time to also talk about the Titans. So I'm gonna say this, but I don't know if it really means anything. Let's try to be brief in talking about the Texans. But you first, Darnell.
All right. First of all, Texans fans, we still have hope. We have a lot of hope. This is the first division game, and I appreciate the organization to make that move right before division games start. Where it really freaking counts. Very proud of the organization to actually pay attention and try to make the best business decision possible. There is your GM/coach. You want to make that decision at the wrong time. They make perfect timing. We're 1-0 in division. Fans, people say we're out next year. At this point, honestly, you gotta be you ain't gotta be super optimistic. You just gotta be a realist. We have a solid chance of getting in the playoffs. Now, getting in the playoffs and making a big move, we do need some strong coaching direction, I feel. But to get to the playoffs, I still think we have a strong chance. Bill O'Brien sucks.
Yeah. Yes or no, Darnell, before I kick it to Isaac. Do you feel like, in watching the game, do you feel like it was entrusted upon Deshaun Watson to be like, hey, man, we're trying to let you free. Go do your thing?
This man is
yes or no?
So much on that gridiron, it's sad. And I will say that to say yes. He did that for that reason. That man is happy. He's going to be himself. He get to be himself. So
okay.
Absolutely.
Take it away, Isaac.
I think I had kind of iterated at my my comment of the free at last of my sentiments on how I feel about the entirety of the situation. I believe Sunday was a culmination of, you know what the saying, when you're letting your hair down and you just, you playing free, you feel good, you play good.
Playing with a free conscience.
Man, I feel like a breath of fresh air just got quite literally just blown into the organization, with us cleaning out the dreaded trash that had stunk up the fucking place for Lord knows too many years. To see that happen and unfold Sunday the way it did, and it was only right, man. They actually win, when the black cat leaves. So, he has I'll say this: he has done an insurmountable job at really tearing and fucking some shit up. So it's gonna take us a while to kind of recoup and recover all that we lost. But the future is bright. The future is bright, Houston. The future is bright.
Man.
Even with no draft picks in the next upcoming draft, it's still bright. It's still bright. So.
Do you also subscribe to Isaac that with, as you referred to him as, with the black cat not being there in the organization, that Deshaun Watson seemed to be his chain seemed to be either cut off or extended a tad bit more?
Yes, Edward, I do believe that the chains will be unleashed. Quite literally, he's actually probably going to be wearing his 815 memo chain more because he doesn't have the wicked witch of the fucking West breathing down his neck about culture. And you know what I'm saying? Just, he's going to be able to be him and unapologetically him. And that's what I'm most excited about, especially from a football aspect of them just, letting them loose, whether that be, having a free reign to, run, protect yourself, but still run and make a play when need be, and not kind of forcing them to be a pocket passer, though that's what he wants to do by nature, from the beginning. That's his first option. We're going to stretch out and, give me some of that 60-yard action that you gave me, when you played the Bengals your first year. I need some of that.
Man, bro, it was
Sam Darnold's run was kind of Deshaun Watson-esque, if you kind of remember that from a couple years ago. It was. That's what it reminded me of. But
big facts.
That's what
bro. It was beautiful, bro, to just see them come out there on the field and just out the fucking gate, yo, you the guy. We're air that bitch out to Cooks, like, 30 plus money. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was just like, that's how we coming with Deshaun out the gate. Okay, let's
I
go.
warn y'all, boys.
Then again, you know, like in the fourth quarter, it's like, yo, we need this momentum, like, to kind of just like really get that separation. He threw another beautiful ball. He was just amazing, giving opportunities, you know, that some people say that like he doesn't really often make or whatever. And I just feel like I was listening to the broadcast and they were talking about Tim Kelly, and they were just like, yo, you don't have O'Brien. Like, what is, like, how are you going to try to move on? And he was just like, I'm going to try to open up the plays and, like, just try to break the mold. And when I heard that, I just interpreted that as just like Tim Kelly himself acknowledging and saying, I'm paraphrasing to what he said.
I know it, but that's still telling of what he said.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He was like, yo, I'm going to try to, you know, put certain guys on the field, give more guys opportunities, and try to pick plays to break the mold, which to me said that he felt like there was a mold being created or sculpted that wasn't really to the best benefit of the current team that's in place. That's what that said to me. And these are words coming from Tim Kelly's mouth, who I guess was
one of his fucking henchmen.
Who was under his regime, his apprentice, you feel me? So
that's when you know it's real. That's when you know it's sour.
You feel what I'm saying? So I think sometimes things are not about X's and O's. Sometimes things are about culture. Sometimes things are about relationships and just how well and how do you gel with players and coaches. And us Houstonians, us Texans fans, we have said it time and time again. Yo, if we can break free of Bill O'Brien, we will see some bit piece of ray and sunshine. People, yo, be quiet. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. He's a good coach. It's not his fault. He sucks as a GM. That's why he's a bad coach. Let him still be your coach. He's got you to a couple of playoff appearances. He's only had like 2 losing seasons. Don't do that. You will have to struggle finding another head coach. Like, why would you want to do that? and we're trying to tell these people, no, like, we know our team. We watch our team like religiously. Like, we know where the problem is. And when the problem finally left, when the problem finally departed, we saw results. We saw the ultimate result. We saw the ultimate result. We saw a W for the first time this season when we were being buried in L's.
Y'all couldn't have got that W with Bill O'Brien?
No. The stats prove it.
No.
Not at all.
Not at all.
It's mental. They should stay with me, baby.
Not at all, bro. No, I mean,
that thing had gotten so mentally debilitating. His presence was like a nuance of like just this annoying gnat that you can never just get to fully leave you. You know how you be outside, you know, hot summer days, Houston, you know, it's real hot, it's humid outside. So, you know, you might run across a field with some fresh gnats around, and, you know, they just buzzing all over the place, and they might not leave you alone. He was that to our organization, just in a way, busy with all these bullshit moves, but you still in one place. He's just doing a lot of it's just nothing. There's no purpose in it.
Some people would try to say, oh, well, the Jags, they didn't have all the great pieces to their defense. Deshaun Watson finally had his best game of the season. Will there be more to come this season?
Absolutely.
The
best
350.
Who y'all play?
I'm telling you, man.
Hold on, let me finish.
I
didn't interrupt about the Cowboys. I let y'all get y'all stuff off.
Go ahead, Elward, so I can bring you up.
359 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. And again, bro, they entrusted him to make plays. They gave him the ball. They weren't pedestrian. They weren't trying to manage the game. They were trying to say, Deshaun, yo, make these throws. Like, let's try to win this game. Let's put them out their misery. Let's not wait till it's too late and they came back.
It was so evident.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like they played like they wanted to win. They weren't not playing not to lose.
I can cry because it's like,
I kill y'all, but shout out to the Texans defense. I know that was probably the only game y'all had in y'all like that was the last game
The
Jimmy Butler had in him
years,
for Game
man.
6. But I appreciate the effort. I hope that we can continue to build on that. And I can keep talking, bro, but yo, man, it's evident. We proved our case. If we got Bill O'Brien out of that, we would then begin to see sunshine. The floor is yours.
Okay.
That was beautiful.
Well, I'm going to start with the positive, right? Start with the good news. Okay.
We got the good news.
Wait, stop.
Come with the
Can I
negative.
time out? Can I time out? Because we didn't get Darnell. I really
Darnell
gotta
talk.
hear him talking shit.
No, he did. He
He
went
talked
first. He went first.
Oh, okay.
Where
He
was
went
you
first.
at?
He went first.
I don't know where I was at. I did not hear shit.
He was
What did you
he
say?
was adamant. He was serious. Like, no.
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna say,
He went first. He went first. Go
You
back.
pay attention, bro.
All right, look. Here we go. I'm gonna start with the positives. Positives, right?
I'm cross-referencing everything you say, so speak carefully.
Yeah.
You are being transcribed.
Positive number one. I might have been wrong about Anthony Weaver, right? Weaver, your defensive coordinator, right? There are things that I saw from your defense on Sunday that I was like, oh, snap. He might be better than I thought he was, right? And maybe I was thinking that he wasn't that good because a lot of players were missing assignments before, right? Now, just a little caveat real quick. In judging a team, right, or judging a player's play, right, there are three things that coaches always look at, right? They look at the player's alignment, right? Hey, are you lining up in the right spot of the field? Their assignment, are you doing what we asked you to do? Are you covering this guy? Are you switching off on this guy? Are you running the right route? Are you blocking the right person, right? And then number three is the execution, right? Now, the first two, the assignment, the alignment and assignment, that is 90% coaching, right? Coaches, Sunday through Saturday or Monday through Saturday, the work that you're doing during the week is going to make sure that the players have their right assignment, their right alignment on game day, right? And so in the first 4 weeks, I saw a lot of times where players were out of position on defense, right? And I did not see that this game. Also in this game, there are a lot of things as far as scheme-wise that I saw him do that I was like, wow, this is incredible. And a lot of the blitzes that he put together to make Gardner Minshew uncomfortable, he stole from the Ravens, which is great because that means he understands that, hey, I'm going to take something great that somebody else did against us, and I'm going to do it against another team. And he used it, and he used it well, right? And they phenomenal. And I hope that can be duplicated over and over again. I think that it can be, and it was good. So that is great. Second, the defense played a lot better. I did not see that many missed tackles. I was very impressed by a couple of players on there.
Of course.
I was very impressed by a couple of players on your defense. Number 50, which I don't think he's actually a starter, the linebacker. I don't even know his name, but he flashed on the film. And number 23, I think might be actually your third safety.
You're talking about Tyrell Adams, number 50.
Yeah, and then I think Murray is number 23. Both of those guys played a hell of a game as far as
Murray is nice. Murray is nice.
As far as stopping the run and being in the right places and making tackles. Cunningham had a nice game, and also too the way that Anthony Weaver moved J.J. Watt around to put him in different spots on the line to attack different people. So a lot of good stuff, right? Something else to stay excited about. Hey, Deshaun Watson is still Deshaun Watson, right? Now, when I say that, I still think that
fucking shit.
I don't think as highly of him as you do, but he is still very good, right? We've already had this. We're not gonna have it again tonight. We already had this, okay? But I'm not surprised by the two picks. I'm not surprised by the two picks, but I'm also not surprised by the bombs that he.
All right.
right? I'm not surprised about his ability to get outside the pocket and create things, right? So he is still Deshaun. He's always going to be Deshaun. I'm not sure how many of those 60-yard runs like he did versus the Bengals that you're going to see. Also, too, I'm not going to allow you to disrespect him and say that Sam Darnold's run was Deshaun Watson-esque, because it did not look as good as his 60-yard run against the Bengals on his Thursday night. So I'm just saying.
Don't try to be on our team, bro.
Don't put that in the same category. But so he is Deshaun, right? So at times he's gonna make magic happen.
That run was pretty impressive. I ain't gonna lie to you. But anyway, that's okay.
nice.
It did not look as good though. But now
He's also
to the bad, right? To bring y'all down a notch. Tim Kelly is still who I thought he was. Tim Kelly is a terrible offensive coordinator. Terrible. I was watching the film today, and I got to the point where I was like, man, are the Jags defenders, are their defensive backs this good at recognizing things? And then after a while, I started seeing plays repeated over and over and over again. And I was like, wait a second, no, they just knew what was going on. They knew Trey Herndon was a 4.5 40, right? He was guarding Will Fuller a lot of times out of the slot, right? And there were a lot of times where he was right there with Will Fuller, who runs a 4.3. And I'm like, why? Oh, they know what's coming, right? Tim Kelly did not set you guys up for greatness. Now, I thought he was, because of the first play of the game. He goes, oh, you know what? The Jaguars are missing their best three players. They're missing Miles Jack, who's Pro Football Focus #1 rated linebacker in the league. They're missing Josh Allen, their best pass rusher, and they're missing C.J. Henderson, their top cornerback, their best cornerback on the team, right? So we're going to go after the other rookie. First play of the game. I'm like, oh, snap. Tim Kelly might have figured it out. What does he do the next 3 plays?
Goes away from him.
Runs the ball, got a punt. Okay. Over and over again, though, you saw him putting things together. Well, I'm like, bruh, that play does not work versus this defense. You're seeing this defense over and over again. Why are you calling this play? Now, on Deshaun Watson's first touchdown to Fells, you know who called the play? Deshaun Watson. At the line, called the play.
What?
Deshaun Watson at the line called that play. Not Tim Kelly. Deshaun Watson did, right?
You don't say.
Yeah. Hold on. I've never said.
Bro, he's like,
never said.
I'm trying.
He can call plays at the line?
Hold up. I have never said that he did not have the ability. Now, if you go back and listen to my rant against him when he played the Ravens. The reason I was so upset with him is because he made mistakes at the line when I knew he could do better. Right? He called the play at the line because he understood that, hey, these 2 linebackers do not know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. Somebody's going to mess up. He calls a post or a deep over route with Fells behind the linebackers, right? It's a cover 1 robber coverage where whoever is the nearest to the receiver coming across them, they take that guy and the other guy stays in the middle, right? They both stayed in the middle. They didn't take the tight end. Touchdown, okay? His other throw to Will Fuller for the touchdown, right? Wasn't a great play call. Deshaun Watson magged it. He gets outside the pocket, hits him, right? His last touchdown to Brandon Cooks, right, on the 4th and 4. It's an all-out blitz, right? They call double slants. Nothing genius about this. Double slants, and then Brandon Cooks beats.
Hey Christian, are you trying to say Deshaun Watson is like making plays and overcoming the offensive play calling?
I think you guys are misunderstanding what I'm saying. You guys are misunderstanding what I'm saying about Deshaun Watson. Before, I said Deshaun Watson is not a tier 1 quarterback. We've texted through this, Edward. I said he's not a tier 1 quarterback. He's not on.
I said nothing about him being tier 1. I asked you a simple question, and you start talking about whatever you're talking about now. I asked you a simple question.
I seem surprised that I think Deshaun Watson's a good quarterback. I think he's good. I don't think he's great.
I asked you one question.
Can I make a comment?
So I just want to finish this up real quick.
Joe Burrow is better than Deshaun Watson.
Isaac, let's like, bro.
Okay, all right.
Quarterback. Now, as far as your offense getting to 30 points late against, according to the analytics community, the Jaguars are the worst defense. Nowhere.
Same way Dak Prescott be getting to 30 points late with his.
No. All right. Nowhere close. Hold up. Nowhere close.
Dak Prescott better than Deshaun Watson.
To anyone else.
Shut the. Hey, boy. Hey, boy.
Isaac. I want to warn you.
We're going to respect your loss right now, Sedacious. Tread lightly.
Respect the numbers.
I want to warn you guys about this hope that the offense got better because Bill O'Brien left. It did not. You played a team that, mind you, 2 weeks ago, Ryan Fitzpatrick went 90%, completed his first 18 passes against this defense.
It's magic.
Okay? Phillip Rivers threw for 400 yards against this defense. Has not done that again this year. Everybody we played has had their best numbers against this defense. Now, Ryan Tannehill has done well. Joe Burrow's done well against other people, right? But this defense is the worst defense, and it also did not have his 3 best players on the field. After the game, you know what Jags fans were talking about? They were like, man, our defense actually looked pretty good today. Because they looked at that defense compared to the other 4 games that we played. And through the first 3 quarters in the other games, the defense looked like a JV team. But the first 3 quarters in this game, hey, the defense was keeping us in the game. If you would have told any Jags fan that, hey, at the end of the half, the Texans would have 10 points and we would have picked Deshaun Watson off once already. We'd say, oh, snap, we're winning the game. If you would have told them that starting the 4th quarter, the Texans only have 13 points and we picked Deshaun Watson off twice, any Jags fan would have told you, oh, snap, we're killing them. Because our offense is actually pretty good. We just didn't score in the red zone. We went up and down the field on you guys. We just didn't score in the red zone. And so the idea that the offense is back on track and that, oh, snap, once Bill leaves, we get a win. Hey, we also just set a record at being the first team ever in NFL history to provide the first win to a winless team 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, so, there's also a record. I guess to also
the thought that the Texans are now that we're free now, everything's on, the playoffs are here. You got the Titans coming up. You got the Packers coming up. The Titans are a way better version of what the Jags are. Ryan Tannehill is a better version of Gardner Minshew. Arthur's better play than Jay Gruden. Their defense is a much better version of what ours is.
Bring it
to finish that point you had, Christian. The Texans have also beat the Jags the past 11 out of 13 games.
Understand the history between the Texans and the Jags. Guess what? You only play the Jags twice. You have 14 other games. 2 and 14 don't get you to the playoffs.
Well, I mean, we're rebuilding at this point, so I'll take those 2.
You said, man.
Somebody said y'all have hope this year.
You just hope you can get Trevor Lawrence in the draft. That's what you hope.
Oh, and also for the listeners, remind you, his elbow nudge comments of Deshaun Watson is the same guy he put up a marketing campaign for last podcast on how the Jags should possibly try to get him. But let's talk about the Jags, Christian.
Right.
I didn't say no. I did not say the Jags should get him. I said that he should actually be traded. And to be traded.
You still want him with your team.
You know who you sound like right now?
I would not.
You sound like Jeff Van Gundy right now.
If the Jags got
you sound like.
We should trade LeBron James.
Watson. Any team.
How is that working out?
I'm Cowboy.
Would you like to further keep talking about the Jags.
Yes, I do want to address the Jags. I mean, you guys can rebut me if you want to first before we get to the Jags.
We're beating the dead
Okay,
drum, bro.
okay. I'm
We
waiting
know
for this
Deshaun
moment.
Watson is the
Go
guy.
ahead.
Wait.
I believe he
Go
is
ahead,
the guy.
Darnell.
Oh, yes, go.
No, just a little quick side note.
Nah, take your
Real
time,
quick.
bro.
Okay, you have to understand this. Bill O'Brien was a virus. He sucked that organization out. Plenty of players,
I understand.
personnel, they always do that. He sucked the life out of them.
That's fine.
Everything you're saying is facts. We did struggle against one of the worst defenses. But guess what? This is a brand new offense.
It's the same offense.
They're starting from the ground.
No, it's the same offense. The plays did not change. It's the same offense.
The mood is. The mood.
Darnell.
Into sports, my brother. The mood is messed up. Yes, sir.
Forgive me for trying to speak for you, and maybe I'm not. I'm just trying to ask this for myself. Christian, why is it so hard for you to believe that energy and chemistry and just the aura around the locker room can be contagious to a team so much that you don't believe that players don't want to play for coaches? You don't believe that coaches can be a virus just off how they act towards players? You don't believe that?
I didn't say that Bill O'Brien wasn't. I didn't say that.
You never did.
Didn't say he was either.
You never gave him credit for being one.
Every time, and what I'm saying,
I'm not there.
What I'm saying,
Can I ask
is
a question?
every time you talk about O'Brien, you sing his praises as a coach. You sing his praises as a coach every time you talk about him. And we as Texas, how you try to tell us, you know what Jacksonville fans are saying? Oh, we played pretty good against the Texans. And what we're trying to tell you, you always ignore us as Texans fans when we tell you, bro, O'Brien is not. His energy is not productive for this team anymore. You always ignore that.
Hold on. In my defense of Bill O'Brien, was not him as a man or.
I see you, Sedacious.
My defense of Bill O'Brien was not him as a man or him and his ability to motivate players or to keep a team together, right? My defense of Bill O'Brien was his X's and O's and maybe just being able to get the team over the hump, right? I did not say that he had a great coach in the locker room. I did not say that the players loved him. I did not say that, right?
Does all of that not encompass being a good coach?
There's that conflict though.
A lot of people, a lot of players hate Bill Belichick. A lot of players hate Nick Saban. Are they not
but
great?
They don't hate their hands.
Players hated Bill Walsh. Or were they
don't hate their hands.
But they have a winning system. So whether you like them or not, you're going to like
that.
them enough to be a part of that winning system.
They got those to prove it, bro. That matters. You go shut the fuck up when you see some rings. LeBron step in that room. Brady steps in the room.
Bill Belichick had Tom Brady. Y'all called Deshaun Watson Tom Brady.
Before Belichick had rings,
his coach called him Michael Jordan. That's what I know.
Huh?
Yeah. The answer to that question, Sedacious. That's what his coach called.
He's still getting the same respect as he is now back then as being that same coach. No, it took him time. It took him proving it. People didn't like him in that as an overall NFL. We all respect Bill Belichick because he's proven it. And he can do whatever he wants. He can fire wherever he wants. Because he has the rings to prove it.
Lawrence Taylor, arguably the best football player to ever play, said that in his first meeting with Bill Belichick, when he first saw him, he was like, "Who the is this guy? Exactly. He never played the game. I don't know who he is. He needs to get out of here." At the end of the meeting, he was like, "Wait a second, I might be able to do something with him," because he saw. Before they win games with them, he saw, wait a second, there's something in the knowledge that he has. I can deal with the other BS because the knowledge that he has can take me somewhere. This is before rings. This is before that he got anything with Bill Parcells, anything on his own, right?
Okay. And to that, Chris,
that's organic.
They were being successful.
He said this before they became successful. Now. Yeah. And my defense of Bill O'Brien was nothing about what he was able to do to rah-rah up the guys, right? Or to have the guys like him, or I never said that he didn't have toxic situations or anything like that. I never tried to defend him on that point, right? My defense of him is that, hey, he's not as bad of a coach as far as getting the results that you guys are talking about, as you say, as you think. Also, he's not as bad of a play caller as many of you guys think, right? I thought he was a much better play caller than you guys thought. Tim Kelly, on the other hand, my point is saying this. everybody can be kumbaya in the locker room, right? I've been a part of teams that have been kumbaya and we sucked on the field, right? Everybody can be kumbaya, but what's going on the field and what most of you guys are concerned about in Houston, and even J.J. Watt said this, is about making number 4 look great because you have something in him, right? Now, I can think less of him than what you think of him because you think of him as God and I think of him as just another guy playing the position.
Wait.
Right?
No, I don't. Well, you don't think of him as that.
But he is still a very good quarterback. And he can still have much success in this league, right? But he will be severely limited under the Tim Kelly system, which is even worse than what Bill O'Brien was. And you guys thought that he was handcuffed under Bill O'Brien. Tim Kelly is not a good offensive coordinator. He's not ready for the job yet. He's just not. You will not see the success that you saw this weekend duplicated week after week after week because you would not play a defense this bad. You made players that were not very better than they were on Sunday.
Hold on, Darnell.
Sidney Jones had a 91.2 grade from PFF at the end of the game. Do you guys know who that is? No, you don't know who that is.
But
no one does.
I just said though that Deshaun.
I'm saying because of Tim Kelly. Listen, the NFL is hard, right? The NFL is hard. Deshaun Watson is not good enough yet to take bad play calling and just take over a whole game against a good or even a decent defense. He did it versus a very bad defense that was very hurt. He's going to be limited throughout the rest of the season because of Tim Kelly. What y'all thought with Bill O'Brien is going to be even worse with Tim Kelly, right? I'm just trying to get you prepared for it for the rest of the year. I'm not talking about him as a player. He's going to be fine. He's going to have particular plays throughout the games that you guys watch and be like, oh, yes, this is the Deshaun that we know. But it's going to be very limited because the play caller that's calling plays is not very good.
What's your question today? Do you still have it?
So do y'all believe that firing Bill O'Brien fixed the issue?
Yeah, it's a part of getting to the solution.
No, did it fix the issue?
Define what you mean by issue, so I can answer your question accurately.
Y'all wasn't winning. Y'all fired him, and then y'all got the first dub. Y'all feel like firing him was like the direct reason that y'all won?
We had to cut off our hand in order to save our arm.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
We did because
Beautiful
with the decisions that he was making with the GM hat, it was quite literally poisoning us from the top all the way to the bottom. So
now that Bill O'Brien is gone, y'all could possibly take the division. Y'all believe that?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure with as decimated as we are, as far as us not having, as many draft picks as we once would have, because Sir Genius fucking a lot traded them all away for literally nothing in compensation of some of the best players in the league. I believe with that framework in place and with us, being depleted as far as, not having the best available, play caller, paging Eric Bieniemy line one, I believe we're going to struggle this year. I believe at best we still got our defense. We could maybe be 9-7, 8-8 at best, but we possibly could maybe be looking at a losing record this year. But you also have to look at strength of schedule. We have one of the strongest and toughest schedules this year as well. I believe we might have been rated like top 5 in schedule strength this year.
I feel that. I feel where y'all
also,
at.
I want to drop a note that just like he praised, because at the end of the day, where you like it or not, he praised that player back to him making a decision. He couldn't do that under Bill O'Brien. That's what you have to realize. There was no, I'm sorry, that was the issue. There was no change to play or I see something in the defense. It's my way or the fucking highway. And that was the biggest issue. Just like you played it. Oh, he's seen this and he's seen it. He did Deshaun Watson. That's what we want him to do. We want him to be able to recognize a defense. Yes, it's going to be a rough start. It ain't going to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect. Absolutely not, because this is the first time in the NFL he's actually got a chance to experiment with it. It's going to be some trials and tribulations. But the end result is going to be grand. I feel like at the end of the day, he's going to be able to experiment, get those kinks out, and be able to do what he needs to do. Like he's going to be able to plate make.
Gotcha.
Jaguars.
Lay it on us.
All right, we're going to get it done real quick. I just want to let you know this, as far as just from Football Outsiders and their study of a future schedule, right? So they say that your past schedule was the second hardest schedule. Your future schedule is the 17th hardest. All right, so the 16th easiest schedule, right, remaining. And then the Cowboys, they actually say that you have the easiest schedule remaining in the league. So
let's go get first place, guys.
Yeah. All right. Now for the Jags. For the Jags, we haven't spent much time on the pod talking about the Jags, right? I want to talk about the Jags coaching issues. Okay. Now, my issue with the Jags is not with the culture. I think the culture right now is fine in Jacksonville. It's not with toxic locker room stuff. We don't have Bill O'Brien there. We don't have any of those issues. Right?
And this
Make
guy.
your point about the Jags, man. Don't drag him into this.
My issues with the coaching. This is from a coach's perspective, right? So me looking at the same issues that I would look at a team that I was going to say, hey, look, we're not very good at this. It's something that we need to change it as far as a coaching staff, right? So situational decision-making from Coach Marrone, right? There have been several times this year on 4th and short where I've thought, man, we got to go for it, right? The past 2 games, we've had a 4th and 2 where we've been inside a field goal range where I've said, hey, we need to just go for it, see what we can get. And immediately we went for the field goal, and next thing you know, we missed the field goal when we were on our 3rd or 4th kicker that time during the year, which started a negative ripple effect. We don't have a good enough team to overcome things like missed field goals when we could have points. So you need to figure out, hey, when we're going and when we're not going. The second thing, I can't stand watching the Jaguars' 2-minute offense. Too many times when they're going on their 2-minute offense, they take too much time. Guys, they catch a ball, they don't go out of bounds, right? They try to make a move into the middle of the field, then they get tackled, 3 guys get on top of them. It takes another extra 10, 12 seconds to now get to the line because they didn't at least know to make an effort to get out of bounds or immediately go down, pop back up, and run to the middle of the field to give the ball to the referee, right? You see other good teams do this. I haven't yet to see that with the Jags this year, right?
Yeah, they're not a good team.
That's not true, bro. That's not true.
What do you mean it's not true?
They're not as bad as you think.
Oh my gosh, this guy. Those things are –
they're worse.
As those things are factual in situational football. We can go back and watch the film.
That's not true,
It happened at the end of the game against y'all. James O'Shaughnessy gets a ball 2 yards from the sideline instead of getting out of bounds. James Lofton on the broadcast yells, "Get out of bounds!" He decides to try to make a move. He gets tackled by 3 guys. Takes him forever to get.
I think you should want to play that aggressive on your team.
The next play, they get the ball to Laviska Shenault. He's 2 yards from the sideline. Instead of him running out of bounds, he decides to try to break a couple of tackles, and he gets tackled in bounds. Right. Instead of
do y'all call
seconds, you have 2 plays in 2 minutes.
Do y'all ever call him O'Shaq Hennessy?
Yeah, we do call him O'Shaq Hennessy sometimes. It depends on how well he's playing. If he's playing well, we call him O'Shaq Hennessy. If he's playing terrible, we just say freaking O'Shaughnessy.
O'Shaq Hennessy.
So it depends on that. And then the next thing would be defensive missed assignments. I know a lot of Jag fans have been calling for Todd Walsh, our defensive coordinator, to be fired for even since our 2017 season when we were Saxonville.
That's not right to him.
A lot of people were calling for his job even then, right? Because it just did not like him as a defensive play caller in different situations. there's an argument to be made from actually a Texans fan, Mr. Brett Kellerman on YouTube, did an actual YouTube video on the defensive play calling in the 2017 AFC Championship game and how Todd Wash kind of effed that one up. So if y'all want to go watch that, support a Texans fan on YouTube, Mr. Brett Kellerman. That was a pretty good one. So, but in my opinion, I don't think the scheme's the problem, but I do think that even in that season and since then, even when we had great players on the defense, even when we had veteran guys, there were too many guys that were missing assignments. Where you would, you'll see guys running wide open, and anytime you see someone running wide open in the NFL, offensive coordinators are, you have some offensive coordinators that are really good, but they aren't that good to get that many guys open over and over and over again. Only when you have defensive missed assignments, and so they had that too many. Even this past weekend against the Texans, they had a bunch of times where guys weren't aligned correctly, were missing assignments, which led to big plays. And seeing that's directly on the coaching, right? What I talked about earlier, alignment, assignment is directly on the coaching, execution is on the players, right? So, but that's the bad of the coaching situation. I think the offensive play calling, as far as Jags fans are concerned, a lot of people were praising Jay Gruden in the first couple of weeks when the offense was humming along, and they've been upset with them the last 3 weeks. I think the play calling is fine. I think that that guys are schemed open well. I know people want him to run the ball a little bit more, but situations dictate, when to throw and stuff like that. I think that there was no way in this past game that James Robinson was going to get the 25 carries that everyone wanted him to. After the first quarter, the Texans started putting in some run blitzes, and he was getting negative yardage, and so he wasn't going to get that. I even think the 4th and 1 call that was a real F up on the 6-yard line. I thought it was an actual good call. The execution was
No, before that play, I told myself, I was like, they got to go for that. And I don't think it was a bad play call. I went back and watched the film today, too. And he just, dropped it.
Hey, you watched the actual film or the broadcast?
The film, bro. Come on.
Also, you were the one using my, because they told me I couldn't. They kicked me out because they said somebody else was using.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad, bro. I thought
No. You good. I just had to re-sign in.
Oh, okay, my bad, dog. I'll make sure I text you next time.
It's good, though. It's good, though. Boy, putting in his time.
Something like that, yeah, but not really. But no, I went back and watched it because I was just like, is it something that went wrong? And like I said that they needed to go for that, but he just tried to switch it over and just dropped it over fumbleitis.
Yeah. So I thought the design was the design was good. The execution, I thought 2 players didn't execute well on that play. Both O'Shaughnessy, because he effed up, and I won't call him O'Shaughnessy on this one. He didn't sell his run block first good enough, and your guy Murray 23 was there to run with him. So he
but Minshew was definitely doing a good job at keeping y'all alive when players weren't open, because I was getting very frustrated with him holding the ball as long as he was and avoiding sacks and would scramble for a first down. And I forget, I don't know if that was to O'Shaughnessy where they was at the goal line and he scrambled, but right before he crossed the passing mark or whatever, he just dumped it in there. I think that
was to the rookie Colin Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson. My bad, Johnson. Yeah,
out of Texas.
So, yeah, he
6'5". Yeah. Just for the Jags fans, hey, that brings me to the room for optimism. Man, there's a lot of good young talent on this team. James Robinson.
Y'all had the most draft picks too this past draft, correct?
We had the second most. The Vikings had 12. And we're the youngest team in the league right now too. So, but James Robinson, man, he's rookie of the month for a reason. He has a chance to be a star. DJ Chark, I wish we would have got the ball to him a little bit more in the game. He's going to be a star. Keelan Cole, I don't know if we'll be able to keep him after this year, but, man, he has turned into something. I can just go down the list: Laviska Shenault, Jawan Taylor, Miles Jack, C.J. Henderson, Josh Allen. Caleb Chase is going to be a lot.
Yeah, Miles Jack been in the league 3+ years, bro.
He's still only 25 though. He's still only 25.
Okay.
So still a young player that's going to be something.
If there's any optimism for the Jaguar fans out there, I would say y'all play the Lions this coming Sunday, who also only has 1 win. So,
yeah, I think
somebody got to get 2.
Isaac, somebody got to get 2.
Or y'all could tie. That's a possibility.
I think trending.
To be honest with you, my reason for a lot of optimism actually is because of the way that Sidney Jones played. Now, I made my comment about Sidney Jones earlier that no one knew who he was, right? And he looked like
he on y'all defense.
He looked like a superstar versus you guys. We just picked him up right before the season. And he got cut by the Eagles. But then I looked back. I was like, man, who is this guy? Like, I looked at him versus the Bengals when he came in when C.J. Henderson got hurt, and I was like, okay, they threw the ball at him twice. And he was right with Taj Boyd, and he was right with T. Higgins. Incompletions. They didn't throw at him again, and I was like, who is this guy? But I didn't go into a deeper until after the game because I was like, wait a second. He dropped a pick that he should have had versus Deshaun. There's a tip ball, right? That he got the pick on, and then he had a pass deflection that ended up being a pick. And I was like, man, hold up, man. Who is this guy, right? Is he actually that good, or is Tim Kelly making him look great, right? I think it's a combination of the two. But I went back and looked him up. When he was coming out in the draft, he came out in the 2017 draft. There were some people that graded him better than Marshawn Lattimore and Marlon Humphrey, right? He was an early second-round pick because on his pro day, he tore his Achilles, right? So he had the injury issues, and people were like, hey, I don't know, he might, so he fell in the draft, right? Last 3 years with the Eagles, same thing. He's had a lot of injury issues, right? So that all-star play that we saw versus you guys, that could be him. If that is him, and if C.J. Henderson plays like he played for 2 out of the 4 games that he's played this year, we could be on track defensively. We could be on track. And I'm not scared of the Lions offense. I'm not scared of the Lions defense. I think that the Chargers are finding a way to F the game up like they have every game since they barely beat the Bengals this year. So I think those are 2 games that we can win. And then the Texans come to us, and I don't think we'll F up in the red zone like we did last time, right? And so I think
debatable. You probably will, but
I think we can get 3 wins in a row, and all y'all can rock the Minshew mustache. I ain't
rocking the Minshew mustache till I get my video. You know what we're gonna call this? You know what we're gonna call this episode? We're gonna call this episode H Town Ho.
There's a lot to look forward to. Now, as far as Gardner Minshew, I'm gonna say this real quick. Gardner Minshew is pretty much the epitome of philosophy of what you need a quarterback in order to win games. Gardner Minshew is no better than a tier 3 quarterback. There is a hope and a prayer that there is a hope and a prayer that he could be a tier 2 guy on par of a Drew Brees. It's a hope and a prayer. Hope and a prayer. Don't think that,
don't let him go, bro.
Don't think that's gonna happen, right? But he's a guy that when everything's right around him, you can win with him. What we did see, what Jags fans have saw the last 2 weeks though, because he is not a tier 2 guy or a tier 1 guy, when the game is put in his hands and we have to, and the team is leaning on him, the Jags cannot win. There were many plays that he missed, right? Keelan Cole opened twice down the field, holding the ball a little too long to try to get the strength enough to hit Shenault down the field. A couple passes that he missed to Laviska Shenault early on in the game that would have kept the chains moving. Those plays where we have to lean on him, we can't do that. But if we just ask him to manage the game and run the offense, we can win with him. And so, unfortunately, he has this incredible stat where anytime he throws for over 300 yards, we lose. Right? So, that's
can't win for losing. Goddamn.
That's horrible.
Yeah. So, but there's a lot of room for optimism for the Jags. As far as this year, it's going to be some up and downs. We got young guys. Anytime there's a mistake that we're not good enough to overcome it.
But the next year, man, y'all got all the draft picks in the world is upcoming.
We got picks and cap space. We got a shot. We got a lot.
Y'all GM was probably talking to O'Brien the way he gave away all y'all players on defense.
Yeah, I mean, he probably was, but it's funny too because y'all had two of our defensive players after we let them go. So y'all paid Aaron Colvin a bunch of money. Well, we didn't want to pay him, and he didn't turn out to be nothing. And then y'all got Tayshaun Gibson, and he was okay for y'all while he was there. That was after we let him go. So
he's actually pretty decent for us, but always the nevertheless, always the more.
Yeah, Gibbs a pretty good player. He's okay. So, but there's a lot of room for optimism for Jags fans, man. So, week by week, it might be frustrating this year, but I mean, man, I hope we keep Dave Caldwell. I really do. We can get rid of Devin Rowan's fine, but I hope we keep Dave Caldwell. So.
All right. Yo, man, we let Christian talk about the Jags. I will say this is the home for definitely Texans fans. We're going to make this we're going to try to make this a cozy space on the podcast for Jaguar fans as well. And, of course. Huh?
And the Cowboys.
Bro, can y'all relax, bro? I got
Oh, you can't.
I was going to get there, B. And this is for sure, without question, may be unwelcome, but it is definitely a home for the Cowboy fans.
Most definitely.
Don't ever scream with black.
He lying. Yo, man, but that wraps up week 5. Thank y'all so much for still rocking with us. We staying consistent with it, so we staying consistent. Y'all got to keep fucking with us. No Name Podcast. If y'all
hey, what y'all think about
before you say that, really think about it, Christian. All right.
You thought he must have thought about it and hated it.
You know what he's saying?
He thought about it and hated it. God damn.
No, just because he really need a name, throw it out there. I just want to hear it.
Yeah, throw it. Now I gotta hear it.
Ball with the boys. I mean, that's
Ball with the boys and balls.
Yeah, no, I can't put balls on boys.
Hey, yo, man, signing.